Welcome to No Limits to Success, the podcast that empowers you to break barriers and achieve your dreams. Hosted by Les Moyer, this show brings you inspiring conversations with trailblazers who redefine success in business and life. Les interviews guests ranging from startup founders to industry titans, uncovering their hard-won wisdom, innovative strategies, and the mindset that propelled them to extraordinary heights. Get ready to unlock your potential and discover that in the world of success, there truly are no limits.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the No Limits to Success podcast. Today I've got someone who is seriously inspiring joining me, Penny, aka the Female Tradie, and she's made the shift from on the tools to actually running workshops, mentoring the next wave of tradies, and she's got some real gold to share. We will chat about why she stepped away from the tools a bit, and then what's really going on behind the scenes for tradies, for women who want to do things for themselves, and people who are wanting to build their businesses. And she's going to helping them grow their business with confidence. So glad to have her on, and let's get into it. Welcome, Penny. How are you?
Thanks, Les. I'm really well, thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks for having me. Excited.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Now, you've been on media. You've been. I've seen you around. You've been in the Sydney Morning Herald, I think. Was that?
Yeah.
Just phenomenal. Building that representation of females in the trade. I love it. I've got other connections of females in the trade, and I think it needs to be better represented, and you're trying to help lead that, because it's a lot of the time, no matter whether it's male or female, there's not a lot of support sometimes in the trades. It's almost like you're out there on your own and not as much connection as some other spaces.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah. Anyway, how did you get into the trades originally? That's one of the stories I'd love to
Yeah, it was just natural for me. I was always on tools as a kid, in Dad's workshop or in the garden. So I think some things are just, that's always meant to be. So I basically got into trade straight out of school, which I was pretty lucky back then, 35 years ago. So there wasn't many women in trade. So I went into my boiler making trade, started metal work. So yeah, it was great. And I just kept going and just wanted more and I think it's also an addiction, really. Once you start to learn some tools, you just, want to navigate more. And I just kept continuing, went into horticulture, carpentry, and finished my builders and certs. So
yeah, nice. I remember that story. It resonates very closely, because I did start straight out of school. In fact, before the end of school, I was working the holidays, and it becomes this. I think I love it that it's like a craft where you've got something, you can walk away and you've gone, I did that, right?
Yeah.
And it just gives you that. There's something that fulfilling about that. So tell us more about how you became the Female Tradie, the brand of the Female Tradie. How did that develop?
Yeah, I mean, working in trades was it was a little bit tricky, especially when I started to go and run my own business. So that was the tricky part, when you sort of will rock up to clients and all the stories, all the questions on whether I was capable, whether whether I was qualified, whether I was able to do the job. So I think what had happened was all those questions basically was like, just over having that story, it'll take me half an hour before I actually get to the job. So, and so Female Tradie, the name of it was just basically, an act. So then basically people could understand who will rock up. So it kind of got rid of that story. But what happened, I just never expected it to become as big as what it did. It just became the brand for people to call me for jobs, but also people that, parents that wanted their kids to be female tradies, or just women, just anything to do with female tradies. I was the go-to company. So that's kind of it started like that as a, renovating company, and just has grown to be, a big sort of company where it's a go-to support, basically.
I like it, because I saw you still help consult for people, but then also you're leaning into the coaching and helping others come up through those stages. And I think it's important, because there are a lot of stigmas. There's a whole lot of misconceptions still in society, really, about who what, right? And I've got an employee who's female in a trade, and I understand she still even now walks in and there's this doubt. But it's a misconception, because I'll be like, there's no difference, and I think sometimes because of what you're having to go through, that there's actually a bit more dedication, I think, and more. You have to work harder to get past that. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's right. Because I still get eyes on me too. It's nowhere near as what it used to be, and also depending on the areas that we're in, So, but yeah, I still get eyes on me. So yeah, you do have to have some sort of confidence about you and inner work to be able to just focus on the work that you do, and have to sometimes prove yourself a little bit more.
I think it's awesome that you branded it, you set expectations, and then you've ended up being, I guess, then a focal point for people who want that, and I think that's brilliant. So just checking, you're then moving and transitioning into workshops, and what did you do there? How did you start that? You were saying that people were wanting to find you, learn more stuff, so you were doing like workshops for DIY sort of thing?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Sydney, moved up to Northern Rivers, like being in trades, 30 years. And, it is, let's admit, it is a little bit of a slog. It's not it's not an easy journey. So I did basically, have slog my body off a little bit. So it was like, okay, cool. Like, where do we go from here? There, I think doing 30 years on tools was enough to say, that's okay. And I've got like 4 different trade sort of things. Like, okay, I've got the experience now and the skill set. And then I'm always looking at gaps. Like if I rock up onto a job, and I've always got people looking over my shoulder and wondering how to do these jobs. And I could see there was so many, like women wanting to learn how to use tools. So I started the workshops, Get Handy workshops, about 4 years ago in Sydney. And that's basically teaching DIYers like how to, repair their homes, and renovators, and basically also people that were looking to maybe get into trades and, see how they, just to get, because I think it's a little bit, intimidating to go and get a job look for even an apprenticeship when you haven't been on tools before, even though in their heart they know that they want to do it, but they feel intimidated because they haven't been on tools. So being able to jump on and do these workshops and just give them a little bit of a confidence hit to go, okay, well, at least I can use the saw, being able to start as an apprentice, you still need to have a little bit of skill. So yeah, it's for anyone that basically wanted to get some tools to get some confidence to take them to the next stage.
Yeah, I think that's it. And sometimes that's you don't know what you don't know, right? There's always this shift between the next level, and I think so much there's missing pieces, like you say. There's gaps where you want a mentor or somebody to help you it's just sometimes the tips, right? And then you develop the skills, and like you say, building that confidence, and somebody to go, hey, I don't know this, without feeling like it's a bad question. And I think that's really it's what I do, I guess, in the business sector, because for me, there's a whole lot of tradies out there that they're craftsmen. They love what they do. They deliver brilliant stuff, right? Yeah, I can see the smile on your face.
Run a business.
But they don't have the business acumen, the business skills. But the thing is that what I find is that they they see that as this big mission, but they've done all of this training and learned to be a tradesperson. This is just another set of skills, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that hard. And what sometimes they do, there's this fear of going back to the basics, or fear of not, so they just stay where they are. But I think your space where you're doing, and you're shifting people from transitioning them from one to another space, it just helps. And I love it.
Yeah. Well, I've got coaches too. Like I've had coaches for 20 years. So at every stage that I move into, I want to learn, and I want to, get better at that. And that's kind of, I think that's what's attributed to my success, is actually investing in coaches and people that are actually doing what I want to do, because that's how you sort of, fast track instead of trying to work it out. And I think that's the fear with tradies, like, being a business. It's the difference between being a tradie and a business owner.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you're on tools, and the thing is that they're working 8, 9 hours, 10 hours, and then going home, doing their invoicing and the quoting. They don't have time to sort of become the business owner. And I think that's the beauty about what you're doing too. It's like giving them the skills to actually, because they don't know, they're tradies. Like, we've all learned to be on tools, not the business side so much.
And I find that sometimes there's all these myths around it that or really reasons for ourselves that we stop ourselves going to the next level, right? It's like, I don't know that, and it's almost a fear because it's an unknown. How do I take on multiple people? How do I, delegate properly? How do I do this? Or they try it and it doesn't work, so they step back, right? And that's where I find the challenges come over and over again. But like you said, I call it the devil at every level, right? Or there's it's ourselves that hold us back most of the time.
Yeah, that's right.
And I respect anybody who gets coaches, because I think that's the way to fast track. It's the way to move past the things that are in your head. And I've got multiple coaches as well. And I think if you're going to coach somebody, if you haven't got a coach, then hey, what are you doing? But I see that really as an investment, not just in the coaching, but in yourself, right? Because the only way you grow is by challenging yourself, putting yourself out there into the unknown. But a coach or a mentor or a consultant, they give you that support system, that you've got something you've got that net behind you to go, hey, what's going on here, right? Because that's the challenge, is that's when people go forward and then step back. So I guess that's
accountability, Les. Accountability.
Absolutely.
They love it. They're like, they know that they've got a call with me next week, so they actually go, okay, cool, we'll get this stuff done.
That's right. Me, I'm always like heck, it's 2 days' time, we're going to do it all. But at the end of the day, what it does is it moves you forward, and it does. Accountability is essential. And I think if anybody's wanting to do that, think about it a different way. You've probably gone from apprentice, right, where you hadn't, or just pre-apprentice, where you knew nothing, right? And you moved into a little level of skill, but you always had somebody behind you, and then you became competent, and then you master it, right? Well, that's the same as business skills. You should go into it looking at it as, okay, I don't know anything, but this is a new skill I'm going to learn. And then you move up the ranks. I think sometimes people think that they have to be everything. But you're never going to get off the tools or have a proper running business that you can step away from for a holiday without learning those skills properly.
Yeah, for sure. And I think their biggest excuses is like, time. Do you know what I mean? Their time. But then it's like, what's so valuable? What is time? Like, you will not move if you just keep doing what you do. Nothing will change. So, you need to make sure you allocate some time for that growth.
100%.
So, exciting times, Les. Exciting times.
It's brilliant. And that's it. Like, I don't know about you. Have you seen the older guys on site still doing exactly the same as and it's, and that's what I see. So, like, I've seen that so often through my life and gone, that's what's one of the triggers for me was, do I want to be there, right?
Yeah.
At the end of my working life,
Yeah.
they've got nothing to sell. They've got nothing
Can't even
to
walk, struggling to walk, like they,
yeah,
so
that's
much
it.
pain.
You're breaking your body because
Yeah.
that's what you operate with in the trades. And I think it's about going, well, there is a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I get on this rant and love talking about this stuff.
Yeah, I'm
So,
the same too. It's great.
as you can tell, so my feeling, and I'm assuming it's probably what you do too, is the tradies, they doubt, or people moving into it sometimes doubt the value of coaches, right?
Yeah.
Or consultants, and then when they've experienced it, how I put it, and I don't know if I've observed top business people, top athletes, and you'll never see any of them who don't have coaches.
Yeah.
Right? You don't get to be the best at what you do without a coach.
No. Yeah. I know that with myself, so yeah. It's usually the people that haven't, invested in a coach, have never invested in a coach, so, but I guess if they want to get to where they're going to have to eventually, or else they're just going to, stay where they are. There comes a time where you go, I want change. And the only way you're going to get change is, by committing and investing in yourself to learn those skills.
And I see a lot of tradies, like they'll be driving around in these phenomenal vehicles, right?
Yeah.
And they'll have the back full of brilliant tools to make it faster, more efficient, more. And yet we'll see the same guys who haven't invested in themselves.
Yeah.
Right. To grow themselves and grow their ability to. And that's where I think it is an investment in yourself, because long term, that's where you get the biggest return. Is the shifting things. And would you agree, like with your coaching, you can teach people skills, and you can teach people, a system to do something, but the biggest shift is in their mindset.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the whole thing. Like, we're just launching a membership, tomorrow, and it's basically, there's two parts of it. There's a part of it that's like skills. It's an online platform for, skills and training and that. But the other part of it is all the mindset, the accountability, the motivation and the inspiration. And that's in its, that has to come hand in hand. You can't just like learn the skills. And if you're doubting yourself about whether this is going to work for you, then you have to sort of navigate that to go, okay, cool. You have to get your mindset right so you can make sure you get the most out of the program and the coaching, or whatever stage in life that is. So
I agree 100%. But my feeling when I'm talking to people is a lot of the time tradies, they're very hands-on, right? But and skills, they know everything, and they've got passion, or sometimes the passion ends up dying after years doing the same thing and not seeing that growth. But I think a lot of them hear things around mindset and they think, oh, that's all bullshit, right? But you've seen that transition for yourself in the changes. Have you got an example, or why would you say that the mindset is, I guess, one of the primary things that you need to do to go, okay, well, maybe to show to somebody, maybe it's not bullshit.
Yeah. It's all in the beliefs. It's in your limited beliefs. So, it's basically the belief systems that we grow up with. So we could have a belief system that, I'm not smart enough, to get into business. Well, that's not my thing. I'm a tradie, I'm hands-on tools. I won't know how to do the business stuff. I'm not capable of doing that. So it's just a limited belief that we have,
Not the time.
accumulated from maybe when we were kids, maybe one of our parents will say to us, like, you're not good enough for whatever. So it's just limited beliefs that we grow up with. And so that's what's going on in their head, that that's not where they're not capable of it, basically. And so there is a process. It just doesn't, you have to work through to break through that limited belief. It is a process. It's in your DNA. It's in there. So yeah, that's where coaches come in with me anyway, have done the work. I mean, when I was, when I was a kid, I used to drive around the eastern suburbs with all these fancy suburbs, looking at all these fancy houses and cars. And, I thought that basically it wasn't capable. I wasn't capable to achieve that in this lifetime, because I knew I was only there was only a limited of years that, I would, be alive, basically. And I thought for me to achieve that wealth, that as the poor, coming from a family that didn't have that much money, I was not capable of getting that in this lifetime. And that it was real funny that, well, not funny, but it was like something that came up, and I was just going to be that person that just works really hard. And I did all that. And then and so, the last 10, 15 years, I've been working with some of the best coaches to break through all those beliefs. And now I don't have anything that I don't, if I feel like I want to do anything, I don't feel like I'm limited by my beliefs. I feel like that's why I tell everyone all the time, dream big, just dream big. Because I believe that no matter, if you can work through those limited beliefs, then you can achieve anything that you want to, because there's nothing there that's stopping you. All you do is basically go, okay, cool, that's what I want. Reverse engineer it, and then set your goals and set something. And that's simply how I tackle things now.
But if you don't believe it's possible, then you don't go through that process, right?
Exactly.
And that's what and it's not about going, hey, I want to be a billionaire.
Yeah,
right?
No,
that's possible, but there's a whole lot of it's about going, is that dream actually viable? And most of the time, our dreams don't need to be, I'm a billionaire. What do we really want? We want wealth and the ability to do what we want, right? We want freedom. So, and if you actually break it down and define those goals properly, it's very, very clear, and you just go step by step. You only take one step at a time.
Exactly. I love it.
And I love that. What I actually really respect, and I love dealing with other coaches who have gone through. I think everybody. I really respect coaches who have been through the process, right?
Yeah.
There's some coaches out there that I try not to criticize, but sometimes they've gone and done a course and then they do it right. But what I think is being through coaching, and then you get to a level where you feel like you want to give back, and you want to give to others, right? And I love seeing somebody shift. That's what gives me passion. I don't know about you, but when somebody goes through and changes that belief, and all of a sudden their lights, the eyes light up.
It's like a switch.
That's it. And what it does is, for me, it triggers that feeling that when I was there and came through that, it was like it changes that, and seeing that, and then going, okay, now you're able to do it, and then following their journey and the steps, and then they come to a point, and it's like, I go, and they're going, I'm struggling, I'm so busy, I'm doing this and this, and I'm going, yeah, but do you remember where you were 6 months ago? Let's go back there. And then they go, wow, that's a big shift. But they've forgotten about it because already their mind has forgotten about the previous mental belief.
Yeah. I love it. It's so it's so life-changing, isn't it? It's what a life, massive change in your life when you can make that shift over,
Yeah. So look, I could talk about that for hours, but I really want to find out more about what you're doing again. So let's step back. You had the workshops, and that was sort of more in person and live.
Yeah.
And now I understand that you're going to this other strategy because you want to be able to help more people, which is called Capable, I think you were saying. Explain like a big picture of that, about what that means and how that helps somebody.
Yeah, so basically, as I mentioned, we've got our workshops, and we're running 5 different trade skill workshops at the moment in Brisbane, Sydney, Northern Rivers, and Canberra. And so we're teaching people hands-on skills. But what happens is they just come, and it's a one-off workshop, or like, you know, they did, most of them come back and do all of them. But the thing is that I meet so many amazing women or people. There's guys that come and join us too, obviously, and they've just, I know that I can give them more, I can support them more, and I felt like that's what there was something limited about that we were stuck there. So I wanted to provide an opportunity where we can still create connection and support. And no matter whether they're able to come, some people can't come to the workshops. Like, you know, some people are in Perth and Northern and
regionally,
you know,
areas.
even overseas. We had a couple of people reach out yesterday. So basically, what I want to do is just create a support network hub and a place where I can share my skills. Like, I've got a wealth of knowledge. Like, I've done 4 trades. Like, you can basically ask me anything, and I've been there and I've done that, and so I just feel like I'm in a stage in my life that I want to just basically give back and be able to support and you know, and that's what it is. And it's just going to be super affordable. You know, create a monthly membership. It's $47 for the first 100 people. We're launching it tomorrow, a month, you know, so that gives them that. And then there'll be an opportunity where they can connect with me to get some like the inner circle coaching. So, and it's just, yeah, just basically create as you know, a place where they can connect even more than just your social media, you know, just
100%. And yeah. I think the great thing about it is I've seen and I've got a group myself, but when you've got that group, you've also got you who comes in, but then there's also a community, and especially when you're a trade and you're moving, it's not like you're in a like sometimes you're on a job for a fair period of time, but you move around, so you don't get long-term connections like in a network, and you don't have a management system, you don't have people in an employment situation where there's this help and constant. But in trades, when we can connect like that and have good positive support and where we can feel safe and ask questions, I think it makes a huge difference to people. So, I love the idea of
Les, that's my favorite thing. That's my, if there's anything I would want to create out of everything, for me would be, I say it all the time, it's community and tribe, because you know, there's been so many cases where, you know, being in trades, having burnout, you know, the mental health is you know, suicide rates in construction. I'm just, you know, working with Barbie.
So, one every 2 days, and it's like, we've got to shift this, we've got to change it, right? And that's what we need more. People support, but business support and just this coming together, because we've got to lift the trade. There's something that's a little broken in there, and we're like, that's my intention, yours too. Like, let's make a change within the construction industry, within the trades industry, within you know, service-based businesses, because if we can do that, we lift up the whole community, we make everything better. And just the construction industry itself is the 5th biggest industry in Australia, and yet you've got people that are earning bloody good money, but their families are breaking down. You know, you've got, like you said, the suicide rate, the mental health problem. Why? And that's like, and like when you go in the back as a coach, it's a lot to do with this mindset, to be, you know, not having that community, feeling like everything's on your own shoulders.
Burnout, physical, and not having the support.
That's it. The problem is, like, somebody, and then this happened to me. My go-to story, I guess, is I was working away. I was doing on the tools. I was doing a renovation on my like we were doing our own renovation. I was on site one day. Mate came. It was a Sunday. Mate came. He goes, "Oh, come on, let's go play touch footy." There was a group of us that used to do it. I'm like, yeah, okay. Anyway, long story short, snapped the ACL on my knee, and I just realized I didn't have a business. I was just working for myself. It all broke down without me, right? And I thought I was doing really well at the time, but I just bought an investment house, was doing a renovation, all that sort of thing. All the plans that I had shifted in that minute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought I had a business there, and the pressure and everything that came from that was just overwhelming. And that's what I don't want other people to see. An injury is so easy within the trades, but if you've got a long-term investment in what you're doing, let's make it different so that it's scalable, it's saleable, it can operate without you, and then it becomes this entity on its own. Anyway, off subject, but you're helping people
I love it.
go through that as well and change where they're at, and I love that. But improving the people's belief about what's possible, amazing.
Yeah.
Capable.
Thanks, Les.
Where can they find you?
Oh, Female Tradie, whether they're on social media, Instagram, or even on femaletradie.com.au. Just contact me through the message there, and we'll connect. So
and what about if they're interested and capable? How do they look that up?
Yeah, again on socials. I'm on socials a lot. I love connecting with all the people on there, the community there. So just reach out. Let me know if you're interested, and I'll get you connected. It'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely brilliant. And we'll put the links in below. And when you're in Brisbane, awesome. I want to catch up, and let's talk and figure out what we can do. Let's make this make it better for everybody coming through.
Awesome. Thanks, Les.
I am so looking forward to it. Thank you for chatting with me today. It was exciting.
No worries.
I'm sure we could talk for another 2 hours.
I know. Everyone, have a good one.
Have a good one. Thanks.